I have one spike, one missile, one. And I have another problem / challenge. This thing does not stay spotted for very long, because this building here is going to block line of sight. So, the spike flies. Is it going to fly straight and true? Am I going to get it? Yes, please. Yes, 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 got it. T80 UK, down for the count. Hey guys, Stealth here, welcome back to more Wargame Brendryen 1v1. Today, Eurocore, aka me, fighting McMahon42. We seem to continuously encounter each other, McMahon and myself, and sometimes we draw, sometimes he wins, sometimes I win. So overall, I think we're pretty even. We're also pretty evenly matched for skill, so this is going to be a good match. Now, as you might imagine, I'm once again playing the Baltic Motorized deck. I'm constantly playing the same deck. It might be a bit boring, for videos that is, but for me it's very comfortable because you get to sort of intimately know your units. You know what they can do, you almost know all the ranges by heart, and you know what you need to deploy where. If you constantly switch from one deck to another, to another, to another, it's going to be, at least for me, less of a comfortable experience. The plan with this one, dropping off with a Col Salamandra Mi8P, that's Erikois. I was corrected recently by a Finnish-speaking person. Mi17 and Mi8TKT. They're going to move over here and drop off the guys potentially either here or there, depending on what the options are for me. Followed up by XA180s with Raniko Yekeri, Talak for smoke, XA180 with a spike inside, Zil157 with reconnaissance infantry, T55P on PSV for further follow-up, and an I-290 for anti-air. Middle, XA180s, 185 KTs to defend over there. And on the far left, XA180s with Spike and Erikois. So, let's start, and we are off. Now, I have saved a few points, and thanks to the Salamandra's exceptional spotting capability, very good spotting capability, I spot that there is an OSA AKM. Interestingly, there's only one OSA AKM, so I think it might be worth it to try and take this thing down before the BTR-90s and the Skrejets arrive. Because if I take this thing down, the Mi8TKT, the Col, the Mi17, they have a lot of options. So, MiG-21MF swoops in, takes out the anti-air, and I now can take out the BTR-90 without any trouble. While this thing is stunned, has its weapons jammed and all sorts of other malfunctions, I move in with the XA180s, to try and secure the compound, and the Zil over there for recon. Erikois has been dropped off, the guys over here have been dropped off, and you can see that he instantly decides not to go for this position. He is not going to make his move here, but he does park a recon tank in the tree line there. Instead, he decides to barge right down the road into Dimitri. I have a couple of XA185s over there with the Yekeri, and I'm trying to get rid of the vehicles which are over there. This was another BTR-90. So there's most likely Spetsnaz GRU in the field. The real question is where? Well, not too far away, they're right here. So I'm tasking the Yekeri to take those guys down, while I scramble the helicopters from the other flank to come back ASAP. There's a BMP-2 and there's two T-80Bs. There's two BMP-2s and two T-80Bs that need to get rid of. I have a spike over there. I should have moved it to this building, because from here it just refused to fire. And now it's too late. So now I have a BMP-2, a duo that is, and two T-80Bs in my lines. The right flank is secure, and I'm moving up with the Erikois to try and get more information, as well as with the XA-180s to make a bit of a push into center. Because he pulled his forces away. That might give me time to do a bit of scouting and or harassing of center. He's also bought a CV for Anna, so that's another 100 points at least that he spent over there. Here's another one of the Spetsnaz GRU. Salamandra is taking those guys out and also working over the BMP-2s. I had the ATGMs turned off, saving those for the T-80s, but I couldn't find them. What I can find is a lot more infantry. And interestingly, he responds to my helicopter offensive with an Su-27S to try and engage helicopters before they become a threat. Succeeds in wiping out the Col, but not, thankfully, the Salamandras, because I need those for their rocket pods and their ATGMs. The Th3 are getting wiped out by Spetsnaz group. They're not really going to be successful in keeping these guys at bay for very long. So I'm trying to get the Mi-AT-KT to help, but it's getting pushed back by a couple of Skrajets. There's also still one BMP-2 and two T-80Bs still holed up there, but they can't really go anywhere. Now over here, this guy had been damaged, the Ka-52. Had managed to land one shot, I think. No, I didn't. Anyway, the K-52 was doing a scouting op, and he's now back at base. I'm sad that I didn't catch that in time, because this nice flanking maneuver here could have killed a K-52. But instead, the machine gun focuses on something else, and now it's trying to do damage against the K-52. You can see that he has nothing here. So I'm immediately trying to position these guys in a better area, maybe finding the CV. That's the plan. As that is happening, as I'm distracting him, I'm also doing a rocket pod attack here, or at least I try to, but I muck it up, and the MiG-21MF takes a bunch of fire from the Skrajets, but does not die. I also have a couple of ROMs moving into position to deal with the Su-27S, and potentially other aircraft. It's a bit expensive for this phase of the game. Maybe one would have been more efficient, but I find that one generally is not enough to kill anything. It might be enough to damage it, but I might as well try and kill it. The XA-180s have been unsuccessful in finding a CV over there, and McMahon is now at a +2, thanks to him capturing Anna. So I have to respond with buying a CV, and that's 100 points that I cannot really afford to lose. Over here we got an Mi-8T coming in. Sadly, I have no anti-air, as the Iroquois are too far away. And, oh right, I still had an Mi-8P and an Mi-17 from the initial deployment here, which are going to make a move towards this side. Skrajets are taking some shots at the XA-180s, but not killing them. So, K-52 flies in. This is the one that was damaged before, in center, in his base. Iroquois over here take one shot at it and damage it, and was really hoping that they would kill it, because this is a very high priority target. It can spot a lot, it's potentially difficult to see, but 2 missiles will take it down. One T-80B survives. I'm trying to get the XA-185s to deal with this Skrajet, and the Th3 I'm moving into a terrible position, because they should not be out in the open, not when there's a T-80B around. And I still can't see it. MiG-21MF, this time around going for the Skrajet, although it's already dead, but I didn't know that at the time. And I am succeeding in distracting him here. He even goes so far as to buy a Tunguska to get rid of it. So, the incursion into my area here is almost complete. At least I'm fairly successful in cleaning it up. I'm trying to get the Salamander forward to get an HEGM into the side or rear of the T-80. But once again, the 27S shows up. The ROMs are turned off because I saw the K-52 come in, so they're not actually going to be able to do anything useful. But I turned them on, and they do eliminate the 27S. Just as the 27S, I think, takes down an aircraft of mine? Yeah, the MiG-21MF. I have the CV in a position which is pretty terrible, and you're going to find out why in a minute. There is still a unit over here. The XA-185 KT saw it, but couldn't respond to it, and it is still the T-80B. So that's a problem. I still have my units in his sector, by the way. They're going to remain there for quite some time. And boom. VDV-90, take out my CV. That is what I get for not securing the CV or keeping it further back. Now this time around, the Salamander is successful in taking out the tank, but there is more stuff roaming around in my area, including Motostrelki and those VDV over there. So I immediately pull the ROMs back. Good thing they're motorized, because otherwise they could have been attacked and eliminated by the VDV. And the XA-180 should have no problems dealing with the Skrajet. So eliminating that would be a nice target as well. Now I have a lot of forces still over here. I got the Sissy, which is not even in cover. I was very busy managing the middle. And over here, we have more stuff coming in. There's an HEGM team, as well as a Skrajet. I take out the Skrajet with the Salamander at grave risk. This is not a good move. Don't do this at home. But the Salamander is successful in taking out both of the Skrajets. And I immediately send it back for repairs and rearmament. And I'm also bringing in some Ranico J-90 to try and secure this area some more. As for the rest of the map, I don't know anything about Boris. And I don't know that much about his flank here, except that I suspect that it's mostly empty. At this point, I'm also bringing in Raskasin Korima with their Musti transports. I'm trying to find more enemy infantry, and I do find it. This was mostly a sacrificial move from the Mustis to try and find out where the VDV was, so I could vector the Renico into a better position. And there they go, eliminated. A couple of MTLBs are coming in, or sorry, MTPLB resuppliers. Because he seems to be trying to resupply stuff here, which is not what I want. What I do want is for this T-55 to go away, so I can start taking over terrain there. So my T-55, which is vastly superior to this T-55, sadly the missile doesn't get it, but it has already been damaged, its firing computer is being reset, so it cannot accurately shoot. I'm immediately trying to provide more reconnaissance. The Iroquois are capable of spotting the T-55, and my T-55 once again goes in the offensive. This guy's accuracy is 5%, mine is 85%, and I eliminate the tank. At this point I also find more Spetsnaz GRU in my area. I'm very much uninterested in having these guys just roam around freely, both gathering information and eliminating any sort of reinforcements that I might have, either towards Fedor or towards the middle. So they have to go, and I have to hunt them down with the Renico. There's an Mi-8 MTV coming in. That is highly dangerous with rocket pods, and it needs to go down. So the Iroquois take it down. At this point, the Iroquois over here are in a position from where they can spot quite a lot, especially when it comes to air. If there are helicopters coming in, if there are planes coming in, these guys will most likely give me at least some early warning. Iroquois over here in a better position. And the T-55 is also moving to a better position. It's a bit dangerous, because at this point I could get side shot by an ATGM. I'm fully aware of that, and I should have smoked it up with the mortar, which I mostly forgot to use. But the T-55 for now is fine. XA-180 dashing forward just to probe their lines. And there seems to be an ATGM unit as well as an OSA. That is an unescorted OSA. There's more ATGMs flying out of the building over there. And I think it is the infantry there that took it down. Or maybe some shot from behind there. Renico here getting healed up. And I can see that there are more VDV being offloaded. And my middle is being countercapped. Well, that's lovely. I have already bought a new CV. So it's likely that there is a tank CV, an infantry CV, something either heavily armored or pretty mobile in these woods. And I need to take it down. Preferably quickly, because this is getting him points. I can see the OSA AKM there. I just can't really shoot at it with anything else but a mortar. And over here, the Renico are engaging. What exactly did you kill there, though? Oh, it was a Tunguska. Nice. That was the Tunguska. That also explains why a lot of these guys instantly died. And they do manage to get the T-80 UK with one shot and give it an optical failure. So it's no longer capable of spotting anything. The VDVR, and sadly my recon tank from this position cannot support it. Now I'm not sure exactly what his plan was. Maybe he was trying to drive over my Renico, or he didn't see the optical failure. But I almost got him. I fire the Appalachian again. Or at least I try to, but sadly I don't get the shot, and the tank survives. MiG-21MF coming in, dealing with a couple more VDV, and there's a bunch more Skrzets returning fire. But at least this time, it's potentially an OSA that's shooting back at me, but the Tunguska has been eliminated. So that's nice. Now, let's see if I can get some more forces in here. I'm getting a couple of Charioteers, as well as one empty XA-180 to try and spot. Because I really want to get that command tank before it gets its opportunity back to start spotting stuff. And there it is. There it is. It still has an optical failure for about 45 seconds. Trying to get the Charioteers forward. And in the meanwhile, I eliminate anti-air with the Seed aircraft. Because I want to keep operating here with my MiG-21MFs. The XA-180, sort of active scouting. Not really doing much beyond that. And the T-80 UK is out there, so I was trying to get it with a side shot from the T-55, but it's too deep inside the tree line and I cannot get it. Salamandra going for a couple of reinforcements in the form of BMP-2s, but they have been successful in dropping off a bunch of Motostrelki 90. That's not what I want. I'm pretty eager for the kill here, which is not a good move, because there are Skrzets around, there is an OSA AKM around, and this Salamandra, well, it's alive for now. Skrzets are reloading, and they're probably gonna get it. I park a T-55 there, T-55 recon tank to side shot, front shot, whatever shot, anything that moves here. And once again, he counters my zone. At this point I have taken control of Th3r, although the side here is completely open. And I notice that there is still more Spetsnaz GRU around. I'm not sure if this is the same group. I think it might be, that I just did not kill them. So I'm having the Narrat0r tasked with eliminating these guys quickly. While the T55 over here is able to at least damage some of the BMP2s over there. There's another K52 over there, that's a new one. So he just invested another 130 points in getting another helicopter. And I really want it dead. I only have 2 missiles on the Iroquois. It's not great, but it is enough if I can land the hits. So I'm going to play a bit of a dangerous game, and I'm going to try and hunt it down. In the meanwhile, he keeps moving forward with Mostrelki, and an ATGM tries to find the T55 recon, but doesn't get it. This is an interesting move. I think it's sort of forced recon. He's very eager to try and get the kill, but I'm not allowing him the T55. I really do not want to lose this position. Iroquois and Musti working together. Sorry, Raniko, Raskasin Kurima and Iroquois working... No, Musti took him. Yeah. Let's try that again, shall we? Mustis and Raskasin Kurima with their Mustis working together on eliminating the BP2s and potentially any other unit that they can find. And in the meanwhile, Raniko Yekari in the middle, operating against the VDV. I need to eliminate these guys quickly, push forward, and get that CV out of my area. But it's taking too long. I am at a +1, but he's already at 207 points. And you can probably tell that he's spotted... There's the command tank. He's spotted the Raniko, and he's withdrawing them preemptively. At this point I have made my move with the Iroquois, and I have damaged the K-52, but it's not dead. And another BMP-2 duo shows up, trying to kill off the Iroquois. T-55 leaps to the rescue, as much as a tank can leap, and I try to damage them and or eliminate them as quickly as possible, but not fast enough. And the Iroquois die, but these BMP-2s die as well, because this T-55, still from its concealed position, cannot get shot at. Well, it can get shot at very well, but he doesn't see it. At this point, I've also taken over the flank here. This means that I have side shots on his main resupply road, which leads right through Anna. So I have sissies over there spotting everything. I'm bringing up ATGMs, and I'm trying to get more ATGMs into position to snipe high-value stuff. Speaking of high-value stuff, there's the T-80UK, once again pulling back. T-55 could not get the shot, sadly. Over on the left, Mustis and Raskasin Kurima still working to clear out more units, but there is a lot of stuff there. Seed flies over, does not get the shot on the OSA AKM that I was trying to find. And over here, the Raniko have a bit of a problem. There's Spetsnaz about, and that melts, well, pretty much any kind of infantry. So I do a rocket pod attack, sort of last known position, and sadly, I don't think I actually get anything, and I lose the jet. T-80UK has been somewhat fixed up, and comes right back in, right into the Raniko Yekari, but not alone. There is a bunch of infantry, there was a BTR-80. I can handle the BTR-80 alright, but a lot of Spetsnaz is a problem. Over here I'm still getting the flank. I have a CV in here now as well, so I'm at a +2. But he puts the CV back and I'm right back to 0. So that's not great. I get one XA-185 KT here, sitting here doing nothing. Mostly because I was considering whether to put it over there with a defensive infantry unit or to have it move. And I was, again, pretty zoomed in, pretty busy here, trying to see what was going on. And trying to eliminate Spetsnaz as quickly as possible, but there were a lot of them. But at this point I thought, you know what, he doesn't have that many Spetsnaz. If I can just grind through them, and I can do that with a motorized deck, then I should be able to win that. T-80Bs over here. One is going to get a side shot, that is if I can keep an eye on it, and I can't. So sadly, the T-80Bs are going to arrive here at some point. But Strelki, I'm trying to keep the Raniko alive by reinforcing them with another squad, but it's not good enough. And these guys have to run away as quickly as they can. And the CV's back in. At this point, I'm flanking Boris as well with the Iroquois. I get an XA-180 behind enemy lines there, and quite a while ago, the guys in center have been eliminated. You can see just how valuable the sissy team over here is. Because anything and everything that comes in, I can immediately spot. So BTR 80, okay, we get a BTR 90, that could be Spatsnaz Gru or Spatsnaz Base. I can get a lot of information out of these guys, and they are only worth 20 points, but the value that they provided in just intel is far, far better. I smoke up, trying to get the 15 Ranico that I have over there into a better position to go on the offensive against that tank. Because I need an ambush. And if I can accidentally, or well, not so accidentally, get a flank shot on that tank, that will kill it. But instead I find more Modestrelki. Modestrelki has already been panicked, and I am trying to hit it. But a T-72 1987 comes in and wipes out the squad. And there is more stuff coming in, and I don't really have that much to deal with it at the moment. So sadly, this +0 is going to stay there for a bit. At this point, I have a pretty decent defense over here, although my anti-air defense is too heavily concentrated on the left flank. And you can see that he's just bringing in his resupply units over there. I temporarily lose control over Elena as I put the CV into cover, which I should have done about 30 minutes ago. More like 20. Spatsnaz against an XA-180. I misclick over here and I load the Ranico into the XA-185. I notice it very quickly and I put them right back out. Which the Spatsnaz go, ooh, nice snack, and instantly kills it. Spatsnaz Gru, getting the last kill on the XA-185 KT, but they're forced back by the combination of the XA-180 and the Yikiri. There's once again a PU out there, and a flank that I'm doing over here, just with one XA-185 KT, just to distract him, is being hampered by Modestrelki. But he seems to be awfully happy about defending this area, and if you look at it, you can see why. There's a fob. Now, at this point, the Mi-17 dies, and there is a Tunguska about. The Seria flies in, not actually there to take out the Tunguska. It was there to take out the command tank. But hey, if there's a free Tunguska up for grabs, I'll take it. So that was not even a kill that I actually intended to go for. I have, at this point, 2 sissy teams over here, which is a bit much, and I need to reposition one of them. I'm going to try and make a move into Anna. Because I know it's a rain resupply road, but I know his CV is also somewhere back there, usually. BTR 80 against Yikiri. Yikiri win. Ranico have been resupplied from the SA-150. And I'm going to try and soften up the area first with the RAK 91, before pushing in with the Ranico and the Rascassin Kurima from over here. These guys are more of a joke pushing in than the Ranico. The Ranico are the real threat here. At this point, I see some more infantry. Scott 2 and Spada Koniartsi are working over these guys as quickly as they can, so I can take control of the area. And I spot this. The BRDM-2U in this area means that I lose control over Boris, it's countercapped, and he has a +1. So I'm all the more determined to eliminate the CV in the middle, because it is just taking me too long and it's taking too many points. I considered sending in this area to deal with BRDM-2U, but there's a frickin' PU overhead and it's elite. So my chances of actually getting in here are very, very low. Very little. So I decided not to do it. Here's the T-80B and the BTR-90, so you can pretty much guess what's going to happen to the Yikiri over there. Rascassin Kurima trying to find a shot, but not really getting anything killed. As for the rest, I probably spot his 3rd Tunguska coming in. That might very well be the last, depending on how many he has in his deck. But I think this could be the last, so if I can take this guy down, he's going to be down to planes, Osa AKMs, and Skrajets. Skrajets he has a lot of, so we could probably see those guys again. Scott 2's coming in, more Spados to try and eliminate the CV. It needs to go. At this point, I'm getting my mortar resupplied, because it's almost out. Sorry, it is out, actually. And I can see the Tunguska. I do fire a shot at it, but I don't believe I get it, because my line of sight here is still pretty terrible. Ranico Yikiri trying to fight out against vehicles that they encounter, but it's another BTR, and they very quickly get panicked, as it's both a BTR-90 and the T-80B. Now I can see the BRDM-2U over there, so I decide to call in another RAK, and this one is going to do a salvo on the BRDM-2U position, as I can see it. Spada Koniartsi, look at these. 20, now it's 17, now it's 16, now it's 15. These guys die very, very quickly to Spetsnaz. But, again, they don't have too many of those in the deck. So I just need to keep grinding through them and eliminate them as quickly as I can. Rak 91 spooks the BRDM to you, but does not kill it, sadly. Now, what I should have done here, in hindsight, is push up. I could have gotten this building, because for the longest time he had nothing in Boris. That's my mistake. I got a brief look at the command tank. Also got a brief look at the business end of a Tunguska, and it takes down my seed aircraft on the way out. Spetsnaz are still there. I have a whole 3 Ranico and 6 Spado, and there is more infantry coming in. Lovely. But, at least temporarily again, the T-80 UK is moving away. Good. The longer I can keep that up, the better. The Su-27PU flies in, going after the Seria 30 that I have coming in. But this is when all of my NTR goes active. Any moment now. There we go. And even though this guy dances around all of the missiles, it doesn't dance around all of them. 2 hits, and that is 1 elite fighter, and that means 1 card completely out of commission. Now, I tried to make a move here with one of the sissy teams, but I did not get through, because there were so many transports and vehicles and reinforcements going through that I had no choice. You can see another transport heading back to base over there. And for now, I'm at a +1, but he has a lot of lead. 268. I need to do something else. I'm bringing up some charioteers in order to help the Ranico and the Spado deal with the Spetsnaz. They need to go. And they need to go right about now before they start eliminating all of my infantry. Because I have the line for now, but he can do this again basically anytime he wants to. Charioteers in a decent position, but there is all sorts of infantry and vehicles coming in. The charioteers die very quickly to Spetsnaz Gru. I think there's also... yeah, there we go. There's VDV. VDV, Spetsnaz. I really don't have a lot of options here to go through it. Actually, it might have been the VDV... oh, sorry, the Spetsnaz and Spets Gru. And I even send in a resupplier to try and help the guys who just conquered the area back, but to no effect as they capture it. Now, I get a side shot with the T-55 from this position, meaning the T-80 UK is damaged but not dead. I was hoping to get more Ranico Yikiri in there, but at this point it's going to be a bit complicated to do that. But it needs to happen. It really needs to happen, because there is still that command, and he's at a +1 again. I really don't want that. So at this point, another rack salvo, soften the area up, bring up a smoke wall, or a smoke corridor in this case. I get a nice flank shot here with the HGM, taking out one of the T-80s. And with the smoke corridor in place, I can move up. I know the guys are mostly panicked. Ranico right forward towards the position that I suspect the CV is in. And it is there, and they take it out. Finally, +1. Took me a while, but I got it. Over here, my transport is escaping. There's so much stuff in the way that I cannot capture it. BTR 90, autocannon and grenade launcher at the ready. Dealing with most of the transports that I have. I was sending in 2 Hawks to do a bombing run, and I do succeed in wiping out a lot of Mostrelki and Spetsnaz, while keeping my bombers alive, and the Seed tries to deal with the Tunguska, if and when it decides to show its ugly face. And it does, but only with missiles, not with guns. And it survives. I'm also trying to do a flanking maneuver here to deal with the CV, which is... it's been hidden somewhere here, but I can't quite find it. Mostrelki versus Yekiri, but they have support from the BMP-2, and I don't have support from my 185, because I was once again focused on the middle. 2 T-80Bs coming in, lovely, that's a good snack for the Ranico. I just need to get a opportunity to get them, there you go, that's a combined effort from the Ranico and the T-55. That's 1 tank dead. This guy is going to do a lot of work for me. Because he fires again. And this T-80B, there you go, Ranico took this out, T-80B there, taking an almost side shot from the T-55. There's another T-55 recon that needs to go. I'm now exchanging fire... extrading. That's what you get when you say exchanging and trading. I'm exchanging fire from a T-55 with a T-80B, which is not a good matchup if it can see me. And there's an ATGM coming in, so I move back. I think. No, I don't actually move back. But the T-80B does get killed by the T-55. Ranico, there were 30, there are now only 9. The missile barely manages to miss the T-55, which would have probably killed it. And over here, I'm now getting the XA-185 involved against the Modestrelki, the Skrejet, basically whatever I can shoot at. I'm once again sending in the Cedar craft, but the Tunguska is still not home. It's still not active. So, sadly, I do lose the snow. Well, yeah, if you're going to keep it circling, you'll lose it. That's for sure. La-di-da-di-da, dead. That's what happens if you keep it circling. It's not a good move. I have 2 T-55 recons to support the area here, but this is not where I want to put them. I want to move further. Also, the Sissy team has provided very useful reconnaissance in the form that there is a T-80 UK there. Guess where that's going? And I'm starting to run out of Ranico. So this thing needs to go. I have 1 spike. 1 missile. 1. And I have another problem, / challenge. This thing does not stay spotted for very long. Because this building here is going to block line of sight. So, the spike flies. Is it going to fly straight and true? Am I going to get it? Yes, please. Yes, 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 yes. Got it. T-80 UK. Down for the count. Excellent. That is a very important kill. Because if I don't kill that, he's going to once again counter-cap Dimitri, and he will be at a +1. He's already at 286, I'm at 177, I still have some catching up to do. Now, interestingly, he's not made a move, an effort to try and counter the area here. If he had, this would have been a very different fight. Now, I bring up another XA-180 with some Airco, but I move them actually too far ahead, and the Modestrelki almost takes them out before they're even able to offload. You can see that the Iroquois are pretty worried, and at this point panicked, as the Modestrelki take their RPG and try to deal damage. At this point, I'm planning / preparing another offensive, because he has shown that he's pretty weak on this flank, as I can spot everything and it's not getting counter-spotted. So I have a group of 3 XA-185 KTs, and I'm bringing up 2 Mi-8T KT. So that's rocket pods and autocannons. In the meanwhile, I'm trying to get this T-55 in a better position. Ranico here are sort of pushing back, but since I didn't have enough to really push back with, here comes the push again. Spetsnaz, BTR-90, Spetsnaz GRU, it's all sort of stuff. And again, more T-80B, which this time around I cannot sideshot because I'm out of missiles. T-55 here is in a position that is okay, but it can be better, so I'm moving it forward. Again, hoping not to get sideshot. Boris has been lost / countercapped. I had it temporarily, but the CV is still moving. So once again, I'm trying to move forward, but because I'm not actively managing it, the XA-185 and the Yakari die instantly. T-55 here in a position, trying to flank shot tanks, trying to kill off transport vehicles, and trying to eliminate vehicle or infantry as they have shots. Or rather, if they have shots. T-55 taking out a BTR-80, that's 1. Another T-55 takes a shot at the other one, doesn't kill it, but not too bad. And the other one does take it out. Bombing run, 2 Hawks. Nice cooperation there. Carpet bombing is not quite the term for it, but I do get some damage in. And over here I'm trying to just probe. I think I do spot the CV. No, that's not the CV. It was a BRDM, or was it a... I think that was the CV right there. Yeah, I do mark it. Once again, Spetsnaz. Shit. That's not what I want to find. What he doesn't want to find is my HGM team over there, but my HGM team cannot get a long enough lock onto the target to actually eliminate it, sadly. So I have to try something else. And he moves them back. So now I have another opportunity, and they once again fluff it, sadly. Because the area here is just so small that you don't get a long enough line of sight. I'm moving forward. Mi-8T KTs, XA-185s from the flank. I'm also sending in XA-180s, which are all empty, to try and get as many HGMs to hit these vehicles as possible. And some of the HGMs do find the vehicles that I want them to find, which is empty transports. In the meanwhile, this is the real offensive. The XA-180 triple. And I find the command infantry. I know where it is. I just have some trouble trying to hit it. Now, he tries to scramble more helicopters and other units as possible. So the Iroquois over here, with their Igla, take out any incoming transports, any helos. I capture a whole bunch of transports, but I can't use them. MIAT-KT over there trying to get kills, but it's so close to the building that it cannot actually get a lock on the command infantry. XA-185KTs trying to get damage in on the CV, and they get him to 3. But there's another MIAT-MTV that I cannot deal with, and a lot of my transports go down. There goes the last one. At this point, there's a few MTLBVs coming in, but the Iroquois over here are eliminating them as soon as they get into range. They cannot keep this up indefinitely, but they can do it for a while. And if I can get a side shot on that tank, that'd be particularly nice. Yes! Oh, one more. Yep, there you go. These guys stopped a lot of reinforcements. Is it enough, though? Is it enough? Well, yes, sort of. Because the Yekiri over here have been successful in eliminating the command infantry, but if that's true, then why is the air still captured? He must have another command. And he does have another command. There is another command somewhere in this area, and I gotta find it. I still have a Hawk circling. It's almost running out of fuel, though. So I have to either get it to bomb something or evac, because there's already another 27S on the way. Iroquois over here still fighting, still trying to deal damage against the plane, but sadly not getting anything. The bombing run did not get the CV, because I already cleared that site. Over here, I have a bit of a problem. I've got a T-80B, T-55 recon, and my recon tank just died, but I don't spot this because I'm zoomed in like this. I'm looking at the middle, I'm desperately trying to hunt a CV down, because we got 3 minutes. It's 286 versus 257, I need to find this thing now. Sadly, the T-80B goes on a rampage. The Spike over here does not retaliate, because it's essentially on the wrong side of the sector. It should have been, well, clever enough to move to the other building and start side-shotting these guys, and look what I spot. The command infantry. So I know where it's going, which is probably to this tree line, but getting that, considering I have no Hawks, I have no KTs, I have no artillery at the ready, because I did not resupply those. They're resupplying now, but it's a bit late. So I need to use mortars, I need to use Ranico, I need to use the T-55 recon, I need to get these guys killed. I'm at a +3, 285 versus 286. I still have a T-80 rampaging around that I don't know about. There's also a T-55 recon. Still rampaging around, and the ITO, by some miracle, did not yet get detected. But that's probably not going to last very long. You can see me fire all sorts of mortars at the presumed sort of location, because it could be in the buildings here. And I'm trying to move up with the T-55, the Ranico Yekiri, there's 19 of them, Scott 2s. I need to get this area. Here comes the ITO-90, under fire. There's a 27S circling, and because I'm trying to get more helicopters involved, the MiG-29 913s tried to intercept the 27S. But I now notice that stuff is dying here in awful numbers. Where's my anti-air? Where's my ITO? Where's my T-55? I only noticed this now. I know that if you're watching this video, you're probably going, "Oh, you idiot, you should have spotted that." Yeah, but in the heat of battle, you don't see everything. T-55 recon has finally managed to eliminate something over here in the form of the T-80. But there is a survivor. And that survivor is right there, on the road, in Dimitri. I'm still at a +1. I have more points than he does. He takes a shot at the T-50 at the command, but does not get it. In the meanwhile, in the skies, we have a bit of a weird battle going on, as the 27S has taken a missile, but is still airborne. And it's seemingly completely out of missiles, so it's gun running my MiG-913s. The T-55 recon comes back. I scramble this area, but don't get a long enough line of sight on it, and the missiles both miss. I get another ITO, not aware that there's a T-55 there, because this area was going somewhere over here to deal with the Tunguska. But because I already found a target before, I mean, I had an order to go there. I already found a target before, so it Winchestered out. There's the T-55. My T-55 is in shambles and is not likely to deal with it. In the meanwhile, we still have the 27S over here. We're just gun running the guys over here. Yeah, the Tunguska is getting involved. There was something I wanted to know about this area. Ah, yeah, it's the Iroquois over here that take out the Su-27S just as it's chasing down my MiGs. My MiGs are outbound, but they're still coming under a lot of fire. And I'm at a +1. No, I'm not. He is. He's at a +1. 287 versus 309 with 55 seconds left on the clock. I don't have time for this shit. So I'm trying to get the spotter to move forward. The Ranico need to move up faster. There's an Mi-24 VP that I cannot deal with. Because I don't have the forces. I don't have a helicopter. I don't have a Sokol. So whatever. Ranico are going to have to do it in tandem with their transports. And they do. They wipe out the Mi-24 VP. At this point, I'm willing to try anything, because I am at a +1. Sorry, he's at a +1. If I eliminate this, I'm going to be at a +1, and I might just escape the draw. But it's going to be awful close. So, Ranico, while the Ranico are moving up, the Yekeri are also trying to make a move, and instantly get wiped out by the Mi-8. Over here, I have the Iroquois, and the XA-180, but of course the VDV are not going to take any kind of shit from that. So this offensive fails. I fly in with another aircraft. And it doesn't matter, because it's a draw. 302 versus 309. We got too close. You need more of a margin. I killed a lot of his stuff. And if you look at the replay, it becomes obvious just how much I killed and how open he was. So it's another lesson for me that I need to be way more aggressive. This Salamandra did a lot of work. BTR 90, Spatsgru, T-80B, Scratch Jets, BMP2s. This is the dangerous encounter that I mentioned in the video. 185 KT versus BTR 90, Salamandra taking out the other forces in my area that were in Dimitri in the middle. Iroquois working over the K-52 and the 27S. That is a very nice result for one unit of special forces. Tunguska got taken out by the Iroquois early on. T-55s have proven themselves extremely useful, taking out 2 ADBs and a T-55. Ranico over here taking out a 1987. I don't think I even saw that. The ATGM team, side shot or rear shot the T-80 UK. Ranico killed the other T-80 UK. And yeah, we got more Iroquois here. Mi-8, Razvedka. A bunch of transports. This is the guys. This is the small group of guys, 10 men, who held off a lot of reinforcements, including that T-80B that they got with their last anti-tank weapon. As for losses, it's a bit all over the place, although the Tunguska's got quite a few kills. Aside from that, it's 27S's, which were hunting down helicopters and planes. And a lot of, well, it's not really any unit in specific, in particular, I'd say. Look at this BTR 90, though. This guy killed a lot. That's not what I want to see. What I do want to show you, as the last part of this video, is just how little he had. Especially during the opener, and for a large part in Bravo. This is something I'm still trying to learn. I'm still working on it. Getting aggressive enough in an area. Pushing forward. Because at the moment, I don't do it enough. Anyway, here's his opener. He moves in, I get the Mi-8 TKT, I get the MiG-21F, I kill the OSA, boom. K-52 flies back, and here's his encounter. BTR 90 dropping off Spatsgru, BTR 90 dropping off Spatsgru there, Spatsgru dies. This is entirely open. I should have moved the Iroquois right there. But of course, I didn't know that at the time. As for the other flank, I have some forces. Sadly, I don't have the KTs. This is the one big lack on this push, as I did it this time around. I could have probably pushed right here and gotten right to his base. The CV is all the way back there, as it turns out. Anyway, let's continue. We get a bit of skirmishing. I'm dealing with the incursion here. 27S comes in. 27S makes it out. Getting rid of Skrajets, Spatsgru, VDV. Look, there's just still nothing here. Nothing. The Iroquois, if they had been in a better position, would have taken out the K-52, potentially the Mi-8 that dropped off the command infantry. But I just don't. Not aggressive enough. All this shit here could have been way more aggressive. T-55 recon tank, kill that. Take this position or even this. Start side-shotting anything that comes in. Didn't do it. Need to get more aggressive. But then again, Blitz keeps telling me not to push with a T-55 recon tank. So it's a bit of a no-go for me, but I could have pushed with the Sissy team here or the Ranico. I could have made a lot more of an effort there. The mantra of this deck is essentially push everywhere and keep going. And I was just not doing that this time around. There's the other Tunguska. There's the Osa AKM. There's my CV going to Fox. Here comes the T80 UK. Iroquois over here were also exceptionally useful in spotting so much that was coming down. Look at how open this area is for the Sissy, but they managed to get there without any kind of a counter. And he seems to be expecting another rush here. He moved his BRDM, probably in response to my helicopters flying over, and he does secure it with some Mostrelki. Right now it's a bit more difficult to get to, although artillery strike there might have killed it. And still, Bravo, it's been 14 minutes, he still doesn't have anything in Bravo. He's not playing Bravo at all. And I don't even probe it. Had I dropped off these Moosties, I could have sent the transports forward, 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 forward. I could have basically ambushed his side, ambushed his spawn. Not doing it. I need to be more aggressive. And this persists for a while. Because it's not just Bravo, or Boris, whatever you want to call it. It's worse. There are more areas where I need to still push harder. Because as I wipe out the Mostrelki here, and the BMP-2s and the Skrejets, there you go, all the vehicles are dead. Musti is now working over the Mostrelki. I do bring in the Spado. The Concours here still have 3 missiles, which is not too bad. Spado are ready to go, but I take too long, and I'm still not even bothering with this area. I'm finally getting the Iroquois in position, but there's already BMP-2, and now there's the BRDM-2U. Anyway, he does this large offensive, this large push here. I'm going to push these guys out with the Spado. Here, I give him all the time in the world to set up here. Turas Kasin Kurima, 1 Iroquois, done. The whole area is locked down. I need to do better. Here we go. Spado, wipe out the Mostrelki. Mostrelki here are still alive. At this point I'm still skirmishing over here. And I noticed that there is a lot of stuff defending this site. So I should have just dropped the Rock 91 on that. I can spot the BRDM. That's my target instead. He moves it back. Right next to the Skyjet. So I could have fairly easily found it with the Iroquois. This guy launches another missile down to 2. Boom, 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 boom. He keeps reinforcing. But at some point I push him back pretty hard. Here. This is when he pushed with the T-80s and the T-55 here. That's so much work. Because this kid gets killed. Everything gets killed here. He is down to 1 T-55, a half a Skrejja or half a Spetsgru, 1 BTR-90 and 1 Tunguska. That's it. That's it. And actually it gets better. Because I take out the T-55. Had I moved in here with just a few XA-185s, just dropped off Yickety here, I could have cleaned up his whole frickin' flank. Get aggressive. It is just not good enough at the moment. Had I been more aggressive over here, had I locked down Bravo, I would have won this game. That's as far as I can tell anyway. So, more aggression, more power, and oh, by the way, here's the other CV. It was going to be sent to Delta, but he dropped it off. He had to keep it in his sector. Oh well. Anyway, very tight game. Well played to Mr. McMahon42. I hope to encounter him at the battlefield again, at which point I will most definitely win. Anyway, that's it for now. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the battle, hope you enjoyed the analysis, and I'll see you guys soon for more videos.